Hey guys, today we are going to continue our reading of our book, Just Juice. Chapter 12, Visitor. Some days the sky spills sheets of ice, some days buckets of sun. On the sun days, when Pa doesn't need my help, and Ma and Turtle and Lulu are settled, and my big sisters are off at school, I study the cards Charlene and Marky made for me. I like some letters better than others. A letter like O. That letter just seems friendlier somehow. I keep going back to the letters I think I can trust, but even they don't always do like I think they should. On the icy days, I huddle by the stove with Turtle and Lulu, looking after them, looking after Ma. Pa goes out to the shop first thing, and I follow him after I've said the boy with the drum book to my sisters at least twice. On the coldest days, I can't stay in the shop for long. My feet burn and my fingers get stiff. Every once in a while, I come back into the kitchen and warm up before I dare Pa's cold again. But Pa stays with it. He's getting a few jobs now. A couple boys from town came. They wanted to make a ramp and wondered if Pa could help. Folks come up to our place with a log turner or some busted piece of stovepipe. Pa takes any work. He loves that shop with its black tools and its grimy windows and its strong burning oil smell. I love it too, but sometimes it's too cold even for Pa, and he comes in and warms his hands and picks up his fiddle and plays for us. In the late afternoon, Charlene dances with Turtle, and Lulu dances with me, and Marky dances easy with Ma until Ma can't dance anymore. And we are all a little jealous that Marky gets Ma as her partner. But Marky had Ma first, and Ma had Marky before any of the rest of us came along. I am always looking out for Officer Rusk, the same as I am always looking for that red car. But Officer Rusk comes late one afternoon in January. It is already after school, and I'm not watching for him anymore. All my sisters are home when his police car pulls up in the driveway. We wait quietly up in our little room. Pa's away, delivering a piece of pipe special made with 3 bends in it. Ma calls me downstairs. I sit at the table with her opposite Officer Rusk. I can hear Turtle breathing through the heating grate, and I know my sisters are crowded around, looking through the metal holes down at us. I hear Charlene shushing Lulu before words get out of her mouth. I sit with Ma and Officer Rusk, looking at my feet. I don't say a word. Miss Hamble phoned me today, Officer Rusk says. She says Justice has been missing school again, Mrs. Fosditch. Ma nods. She's been helping me and her pa out quite a bit. What about the child care from social services for your 2 little ones? Officer Rusk asks. How's that working out? Ma shakes her head. Not so good. 2 or 3 different ladies came. None of them lasted. Ma looks sorry, like it's her fault. But it isn't. You have 3 children of school age, Mrs. Fosditch. Ma knows that. They should all 3 be going to school. Ma says, Juice here is a smart thing. She's learning stuff all over the place out in her pa's shop. Yes, ma'am, Officer Rusk says, but the town thinks Justice ought to be taking all that smartness to school with her. My nose itches. I wiggle it, trying to get some comfort. I keep my hands behind my back. They are kind of black from working in Pa's shop, and I don't think Officer Rusk should see them. Ma looks helpless. She knows I ought to go to school. She wants me to go to school. She also knows I hate it. School is just not calling to Juice right now in a way she can listen, Ma says at last. And she shrugs. It is, Mrs. Fosditch, Officer Rusk says. It is calling for Justice to come to school and stay there until she is 16 years old. Then it will stop calling if Justice wants it that way. 16? That is 3 years older even than Marky. Officer Rusk hands Ma an envelope. Ma'am, this is your final notice. I have to do this. If Justice misses one more day of school, you and Mr. Fosditch, you'll get a court date. It's the law, ma'am. There are consequences for parents who don't get their children to school every day. I'm sorry. Your daughter has a right to an education. It's the law. I see she gets it. I have trouble getting my swallow to go down. It makes a noise that my sisters hear upstairs. Lulu giggles. There is a scuffle up there. Sounds like a flurry of bird feathers. Then silence. I feel a grin coming, even though I can't let it show up on my face. Not now. Ma would be awful cross if she thought I thought all of this was funny. I don't think it's funny. Just my sister's up there listening to everything, trying to be so quiet. That's funny. Ma sets out the sugar cubes in a bowl Pa made. It is one of Pa's prettiest bowls, with maybe 10, 15 cubes in it all at once. And don't they look like a king would eat them, sitting so pretty in Pa's bowl? Pa has made some awful nice things for Ma during the times in his shop when he has nothing else to do. No, thank you, ma'am, Officer Russ says to Ma's, offering the bowl of sugar. He looks sad at being here, real sad. I feel sorry for him. I'll come to school, I say. Officer Russ looks at me. I'll come tomorrow. Tell Miss Hamble I'll be there. He nods. And Officer Rusk, I say. He looks at me, right at me, like he's truly interested in what I have to say. Officer Rusk, I tell him. Everybody calls me Juice. Just Juice. I hope you guys enjoyed chapter 12. Stay tuned. Chapter 13 is to come.